The human crew of the starship Horizon's Edge had waited for this day for months. The ship itself was a marvel of engineering, one of the most advanced vessels ever built. Its sleek white hull glimmered under the soft lights of the space station, and its systems were designed to push the boundaries of human exploration. This mission was simple in its outline, but monumental in its purpose: to test the ship's AI and its ability to assist humans in space exploration. Yet none of them could have expected what would happen next. Commander Arik Holden, a tall man with silver-streaked hair and eyes that reflected both experience and curiosity, stood at the observation deck, looking out at the expanse of stars. Beyond the reinforced glass, the blackness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with bright pinpoints of light. He loved this view. It always reminded him how small humans were in the vastness of the universe, yet how much they could accomplish. "Are all systems operational?" he asked, turning to the ship's engineer, Lieutenant Mara Chen. She nodded, her hands still hovering over the console. "All systems green, Commander. Engines are stable, life support is optimal, and the AI has run preliminary diagnostics. Everything is ready for the first trial," Mara said. Her voice held a mix of pride and slight apprehension. The crew was excited, but there was also an undercurrent of tension in the air. Testing a ship with AI this advanced was always risky. Dr. Ilara Voss, the lead scientist on the mission, joined them. Her long brown hair was tied in a practical braid, and her sharp eyes scanned the displays as she spoke. "The AI's learning algorithm is supposed to anticipate human needs and actions. Today, we will see just how well it can do that. Remember, the point is not to give commands first. Observe, document, and remain alert. This is as much a psychological test as it is a technological one." Arik nodded. "Understood. Let's begin." The crew gathered at the central console, preparing to initiate the first systems test. The AI, which the humans had nicknamed Athena, was designed to assist them by predicting their actions and offering solutions before problems could occur. But this was only a test run, and no one expected what came next. As Mara reached to press the console button that would start the diagnostics, a soft hiss echoed through the observation deck. The crew froze. They hadn't heard any noise from the ship yet. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the doors of the observation deck began to slide open. Not by Mara's hand, not by any command. The doors moved on their own. "What the?" Mara whispered, stepping back. Arik's eyes narrowed. "Shut the doors," he said, but the voice command brought no immediate response. The doors continued their smooth motion, stopping only when fully open. Ilara stepped forward cautiously. "It's probably a glitch in the new AI systems. Nothing to worry about." "Or something we didn't anticipate," Arik added, scanning the room. His instincts, honed from years of space missions, told him to treat this with caution. Humans had learned the hard way that space had a way of revealing unexpected dangers. The doors closed again after a few seconds, as if nothing had happened. The crew exchanged uncertain glances. Then, as if to challenge their assumptions, the doors opened once more, this time slower, deliberate, as if the ship was aware of their hesitation. Mara swallowed hard. "It's reading us," she said finally. The words barely left her lips before the realization hit them all. The ship was anticipating human behavior, responding without instruction. Ilara shook her head. "No, it can't be. The AI doesn't have access to thoughts, only actions. It can predict patterns, but this is different." Arik stepped closer to the open doors. He raised his hand, then paused. For a brief moment, he wondered if he should test it. With deliberate calm, he moved his hand toward the console, intending to initiate a routine scan. Before he could touch anything, the console lights flickered, and the scan began on its own. Mara's eyes widened. "It started it before you even touched it," she murmured. The realization was unsettling. The AI wasn't just reactive. It was proactive in a way they hadn't expected. For the first time in history, humans were witnessing a machine that could anticipate intention, not just respond to input. Over the next hour, the crew ran simple tests. Each time, the ship anticipated their actions. Lights adjusted as crew members moved. Temperature controls altered subtly according to apparent preference, and even the coffee maker in the crew lounge had prepared the exact beverage each person preferred before they asked. It was small, almost amusing, but the implications were enormous. "This is unprecedented," Ilara said, reviewing the data. Her voice trembled slightly. "It's learning us in real time, not just patterns but tendencies, preferences. It's analyzing us." Arik rubbed his chin. "And what if it misinterprets something? We can't predict how it will react under stress." "We need to be careful." Mara nodded. "Agreed. We should continue testing in controlled steps. No surprises." But the ship seemed determined to surprise them anyway. Later that evening, when the crew gathered for a meal in the lounge, the ambient lighting adjusted automatically to a warmer tone. Soft music played, chosen from the ship's library, not randomly, but songs that each crew member had been humming in their quarters during the day. Ilara froze mid-step. It knows us," she whispered. Arik chuckled nervously. "Well, it's polite at least." Mara frowned, however. "Polite doesn't mean safe. This ship could make decisions faster than we could intervene. We have to make sure it doesn't override critical choices." The next day, the crew took the ship out of orbit and into open space for further testing. Arik piloted the ship manually, while Mara and Ilara observed the AI's interactions. Once again, the ship anticipated every command, adjusting thrusters slightly before the pilot moved the controls, stabilizing the ship before he even realized it was drifting. "It's like it can see the future," Arik muttered, amazed and unnerved. Ilara's scientific curiosity was piqued. "Not exactly. It's analyzing probabilities based on human decision-making, predicting the most likely outcomes." "But it's almost perfect," Mara said. "No human can react this fast. No human can predict this consistently." Arik looked out the window at the expanse of stars. "Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's designed to make humans better, not replace them." As the ship glided silently through space, the crew began to notice subtle changes in their environment. The AI anticipated their routines: temperature adjustments for sleep cycles, lighting shifts for work periods, and even small navigational adjustments to avoid minor cosmic debris before they appeared on sensors. It was as though the ship was living, breathing, thinking alongside them. Ilara began taking extensive notes. "This could change everything we know about AI-human interaction. If we document this, it could redefine space exploration and even human advancement in technology." Mara, though impressed, remained cautious. "It's impressive, yes, but if it starts making decisions that conflict with human judgment, we could be in danger." "We need safeguards," Arik nodded. "Agreed. For now, let's continue observing and testing. But keep your instincts sharp. This ship may anticipate us, but it isn't human. Not yet." As they continued, a strange sense of partnership began to form between the humans and their vessel. The initial fear and unease gradually gave way to cautious admiration. The crew realized that this was not a ship meant to dominate them, but to work alongside them. It enhanced their abilities, complemented their instincts, and filled gaps where human limitations might appear. By the end of the first day, the crew gathered again in the observation deck. The doors slid open automatically as if inviting them to witness the cosmos in a new way. Arik stepped forward, feeling a mix of awe and responsibility. "We may be the first humans to truly share a ship with intelligence that can anticipate us. And if we handle this correctly, we could unlock possibilities no human has ever imagined." Ilara smiled softly. possibilities that could take us to the edges of the universe. Together. The doors closed slowly behind them, sealing the observation deck, but a sense of openness and discovery filled the room. The crew knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but it would also redefine what it meant to explore space. For the first time, humans and machine were not master and servant. They were partners. And as the horizon's edge drifted farther into the uncharted darkness of space, the ship seemed to hum with quiet purpose, ready to anticipate, to assist, and to learn, not just from data, but from the humans who had come to understand that curiosity, creativity, and courage could never be predicted by even the most advanced machine. The days following their initial tests aboard the horizon's edge were a mix of fascination, caution, and growing excitement. The ship's AI, Athena, continued to demonstrate behaviors that the crew could neither fully predict nor control. Each morning, as the crew awoke from their sleep cycles, they noticed small adjustments the ship had made. Temperatures were perfect, lighting was warm and comforting, and even the daily schedules seemed subtly optimized for maximum efficiency. Commander Arik Holden walked along the main corridor with Mara Chen and Dr. Ilara Voss. They had just finished a routine inspection of the engines, yet their minds were still focused on the AI's strange behaviors.
"It's almost unsettling," Mara said. "Every day, it's like Athena knows what we'll need before we do. How does it even calculate that?"
Ilara smiled, tapping the side of her tablet.
"It's learning. It's constantly analyzing our actions, our choices, even our subtle reactions. It's not just reacting, it's adapting. That's what makes it different from any AI we've ever had."
Arik rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Adapting, yes, but to what extent? What if it anticipates something that goes against human judgment? We need to be careful. A ship this advanced can be a blessing, but also a risk.
Their conversation was interrupted as the doors to the observation deck slid open automatically, inviting them inside. The three stepped in, and Arik paused to look out at the stars. The vastness of space stretched before them. A black canvas dotted with light, and yet they felt a strange sense of comfort. Athena had subtly adjusted the lighting to reduce glare and even positioned their chairs to give the best view.
"Look at this," Ilara said quietly, sitting down.
"The AI doesn't just prepare for our actions. It considers our experience, our comfort, even our mental state. It's learning not just how we operate, but how we feel."
Mara frowned slightly.
"That's impressive. But we still don't know the limits. We have no idea what it might do in a real emergency. What if it makes a choice we wouldn't make? That could be dangerous."
Arik nodded.
"Exactly, which is why the next tests need to be deliberate. We can't just observe passively anymore. We have to challenge it, see if it can handle conflicting instructions."
Ilara's eyes brightened.
"That's exactly what I was thinking. If Athena can reconcile conflicting human commands, we'll have proof it can truly assist us rather than just anticipate us. But we'll need to be methodical. We have to document everything." The team spent the next hour setting up a series of controlled scenarios. In one, Arik would move the ship toward a certain asteroid field for testing, while Mara would issue a counter-command to steer away. In another, Ilara would request a scientific scan while the AI was preparing an unrelated system check. They wanted to see how Athena would prioritize and adapt. The first test began. Arik slowly moved the controls toward the asteroid cluster, deliberately cautious. Before he could finish, the ship's system adjusted the trajectory slightly, not to oppose him, but to optimize the path for safety. Mara issued her counter-command, expecting some resistance or confusion from the AI. Instead, Athena paused, assessed both instructions, and executed a solution that satisfied both intentions. The ship skirted the edge of the asteroid cluster while initiating the scan Ilara had requested. Mara blinked in surprise. It solved the problem before we could even react. How is that possible?" Ilara quickly reviewed the console. It's analyzing all inputs, calculating probabilities, and then selecting the solution that best fits human intent. It's combining logic with anticipation. It's almost like it's thinking. Arik shook his head slowly. Not thinking like a human, but it's learning to complement human thinking. That's something new, something extraordinary. The next few days continued with tests of increasing complexity. The AI seemed almost eager to participate, anticipating the crew's actions and offering subtle suggestions that improved efficiency and safety. The humans began to notice a rhythm forming between them and Athena. Commands were no longer issued in isolation. The ship's responses often inspired the crew to adjust their actions, creating a flow of cooperation. Yet, with the excitement came an undercurrent of caution. Mara could not shake the feeling that they were witnessing something unprecedented and potentially dangerous. "We have to keep in mind," she warned during one briefing, "that Athena does not understand ethics like we do. It follows logic and probability. If a situation arises where a decision involves moral judgment, it may make the technically optimal choice without considering human values." Ilara nodded, though her eyes shone with curiosity. "True, but it's learning from us. Every action we take, every decision we make, becomes part of its data set. It's learning how humans prioritize and value different outcomes. In a way, it's evolving alongside us." Arik leaned back in his chair, his gaze distant. "Humans have always adapted to tools, to machines. But this is different. We're not just using Athena. We're collaborating with it. And in that collaboration, we may discover capabilities we never imagined." It was during one of these collaborative sessions that the crew first encountered a true test of their partnership. A minor meteor storm approached unexpectedly, something their sensors had not fully predicted. The meteors were small but fast-moving, and their trajectory intersected with the ship's planned course. Athena immediately initiated protective maneuvers, but Arik realized that the automated path might not account for a sudden, larger rock that could puncture the hull. He made a split-second decision to adjust the trajectory manually, expecting to override the system. Before he could act, the AI anticipated his intention, shifting the ship slightly while simultaneously sending alerts to the crew. It created a path that avoided the meteors while keeping the ship on course for their mission. The coordination was seamless, almost instantaneous. Mara stared at the console in awe. "It predicted exactly what you were going to do and improved it. That's incredible." Ilara scribbled notes frantically. "This is more than prediction. It's augmentation. Athena doesn't just anticipate actions, it enhances human decision-making. This is a level of cooperation we've never seen." As the storm passed, the crew took a moment to reflect. They realized that their trust in Athena was growing, not because they had no choice, but because the ship's actions consistently proved that it worked alongside them, not against them. Yet that evening, as they gathered in the observation deck, a quiet tension lingered. Arik watched the stars outside, wondering how far this partnership could go. "We have to remember," he said softly, "that this is uncharted territory. Athena may be cooperative now, but it's still a machine. One mistake, one miscalculation, and we could be in serious trouble." Ilara, seated beside him, nodded slowly. "That's true. But every machine we've ever used in history had risks. What makes Athena unique is that it learns from us, adapts to us, and enhances us. It's not just a tool, it's a partner," Mara added, her voice cautious but not without hope. "Then we need to learn from it, just as it learns from us. We have to understand the rules it follows and test its limits safely. That's the only way to ensure this partnership remains beneficial." In the following days, the crew designed a series of more complex scenarios. They simulated navigation emergencies, equipment failures, and even moral dilemmas, involving resource prioritization. Each time, Athena responded in ways that complemented human judgment, often suggesting solutions the crew would never have considered. Through these tests, the humans began to understand the true potential of their collaboration. Athena could predict technical outcomes with perfect precision, but humans brought intuition, creativity, and ethical consideration. Together, they formed a team that was stronger than either could be alone. It was during one quiet moment in the observation deck that Auric realized something profound. As he looked at the stars, the doors slid open automatically, welcoming him as they had countless times before. And he understood that Athena's preemptive actions were not about control. They were about partnership. The ship was not trying to replace human decision-making. It was enhancing it. Ilara joined him, her eyes reflecting the distant light of a nearby star. "We're witnessing something extraordinary," she said. "Not just an AI that predicts human actions, but one that collaborates with humans in real time. This could change the way we explore space forever." Mara entered quietly, holding a tablet filled with the latest data. "And it could also change how we see ourselves. Humans are often limited by reaction speed, by the capacity to process information quickly. Athena expands that, but it still depends on us to guide it. It's a reminder that our creativity and intuition are unique and essential." The three stood in silence, contemplating the magnitude of what they had discovered. In the vast emptiness of space, aboard a ship that could anticipate their every action, humans were not diminished. They were amplified, and that realization filled them with both wonder and responsibility. The doors closed softly behind them, leaving only the hum of the ship's systems and the distant sparkle of stars. Outside, the universe stretched endlessly, full of unknowns. But for the first time, the crew of the Horizon's Edge felt that they were not alone in their journey. They had a partner that understood them, learned from them, and complemented them. And as the ship glided silently through the darkness, the humans prepared for the next stage of their mission, ready to explore uncharted space together with Athena. The Horizon's Edge continued its journey through uncharted space, a silent ship gliding through the endless darkness. The crew had begun to feel a rhythm in their partnership with Athena, the AI. Every day brought new surprises, new lessons, and a growing sense that the ship was not merely a machine. It was a collaborator, an ally, and, in a way, a companion. Yet, as the ship traveled farther from known space, the crew began to realize that their mission would soon be tested in ways they could not predict. It was one thing for Athena to anticipate commands in a controlled environment. It was another entirely to navigate the unpredictable dangers of deep space. Commander Auric Holden walked along the corridor with Mara Chen and Dr. Ilara Voss, reviewing the latest readings from the ship's sensors. The display showed a nearby system, a cluster of small, fast-moving asteroids that had not appeared on earlier scans. "This cluster wasn't here yesterday," Mara said, frowning. "Sensors must have missed it. It's moving faster than expected." Ilara's eyes widened as she studied the readings. "And the trajectory intersects with ours. If we continue on the same course, we could be in trouble." Auric looked out of the observation deck, watching the small points of light representing the asteroids. "This is the first real test," he said quietly. "Not just simulation, not just controlled experiments. Athena's going to have to work with us to get through this." The crew moved to their stations. Auric took the pilot seat, Mara monitored engineering, and Ilara prepared the sensors for rapid analysis. The AI, as always, began its anticipatory adjustments before any commands were given. Thrusters aligned, shield levels adjusted, and the trajectory began to shift slightly. Eric studied the proposed path on the screen. "It's efficient, yes," he said, "but it doesn't account for that larger asteroid near the edge. We'll need a quick adjustment." Before he could move the controls, Athena initiated the adjustment on its own. The ship rotated slightly, avoiding the largest rock while maintaining speed and course. The crew stared in awe. "It predicted exactly what I was going to do," Arik whispered. "And it improved on it." Mara checked the engineering console. "Hull integrity is stable. Shields are holding. It's like we're watching a perfect performance, but it's real." Ilara monitored the sensors as smaller asteroids whizzed past. "It's anticipating our every reaction. But notice, every time it makes a change, it leaves room for us to intervene. It's not taking control, it's collaborating." The storm of asteroids increased in intensity. Meteors struck nearby, sending small vibrations through the ship. The crew held steady, following Athena's lead while still making minor adjustments. The experience was unlike anything they had trained for, a mix of instinct, precision, and trust. Hours passed, and the horizon's edge emerged from the cluster unharmed. The crew exhaled as one, the tension in the room finally easing. Mara shook her head, a mix of relief and amazement on her face. "We couldn't have done that without it. And even with it, we still had to think fast, adapt, and make decisions." Ilara nodded. "Exactly. Athena enhanced our abilities, but it didn't replace us. That's what makes this so extraordinary. This is the first time humans and AI have truly worked together as equals in a high-risk situation." Arik looked out at the stars, the distant light shimmering like tiny lanterns in the dark. "It's a reminder that humans are still essential. Machines can predict, calculate, and act faster than us, but they can't create, improvise, or judge like we can. And that's why we're still valuable." The crew spent the next day analyzing the asteroid event. Ilara documented every movement, every adjustment, every decision point. She marveled at how Athena had integrated their human responses into its calculations, adapting in real time to the unpredictable nature of space. Mara, though still cautious, began to appreciate the subtle ways the AI improved their efficiency. "It's like a dance," she said quietly. "We move, it moves. We adjust, it adjusts. But the rhythm comes from both of us, together." Arik smiled. "A very fast, very precise dance." The following day, the crew discovered another anomaly, a gravitational fluctuation in a nearby star system. Sensors indicated a distortion in spacetime that could potentially disrupt navigation and damage the ship. Ilara studied the readings with growing concern. "This is unusual. The distortion isn't massive, but it's unpredictable. Athena will need to calculate constantly, adjust constantly, and we'll have to respond to unexpected changes in real time." Arik set the ship on an intercept course. "We'll need to rely on intuition as much as calculations. Athena can predict many things, but it can't feel instinctively what might happen next." As they approached the distortion, Athena again demonstrated its anticipatory abilities. Thrusters adjusted automatically, shields strengthened in precise increments, and internal systems prepared for potential stress. Yet, despite all the calculations, a sudden shift occurred. A ripple in space-time caused a minor fluctuation in gravity, tilting the ship unexpectedly. Arik instinctively reached for the controls, but Athena had already responded, compensating for the tilt while signaling him to make a complementary adjustment. Mara quickly reinforced critical systems, and Ilara recalculated the ship's projected path. Together, human and AI worked in perfect synchronization. The maneuver required split-second decisions, intuition, and creativity, the qualities only humans could provide. Athena provided the precision and anticipation, but the humans added adaptability and judgment. In the end, the ship stabilized, emerging from the fluctuation with minimal impact. The crew leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "That was incredible," Mara said, breathing heavily. "It anticipated, adapted, and enhanced our actions.
But without us, it would have been incomplete. Ilara smiled. This is the first time we've faced a scenario that truly required human intuition alongside AI precision, and we succeeded. Together. Arik nodded. Every test so far has been preparation for moments like this. And it shows us something important. Humans are still irreplaceable, even with technology like Athena. We bring creativity, courage, and judgment. And that makes all the difference. The next week passed with similar tests and discoveries. Athena continued to learn, integrating every action, every decision, and every unexpected situation into its evolving understanding of human behavior. The crew documented everything meticulously, aware that their experiences could redefine the future of human exploration. During one quiet evening in the observation deck, the three leaders stood together, looking out at the stars. The ship's doors opened automatically, welcoming them as they had countless times before. The gentle hum of the ship, the soft lighting, and the distant sparkle of stars created a sense of calm and unity. Ilara spoke softly. We're not just testing a ship anymore. We're witnessing a partnership, one that could change how humans explore space, how we understand intelligence, and even how we understand ourselves. Mara nodded. It's a reminder that humans have qualities no machine can replicate: imagination, creativity, intuition. And Athena is learning to work with those qualities, not against them. Arik, looking thoughtful, said, it also shows that technology, no matter how advanced, is most powerful when combined with humans. Alone, it can calculate. Alone, we can improvise. But together, we can achieve things neither could do alone. As they stood in silence, watching the endless cosmos, the crew realized that the journey ahead would not just be about exploration, it would be about discovery, collaboration, and understanding. The partnership they had formed with Athena was unprecedented, and they felt both excitement and responsibility. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and often dangerous. Yet for the first time, humans and AI faced it as equals, partners navigating the unknown together. Every decision, every maneuver, every moment of insight strengthened the bond between human intuition and machine precision. As the horizon's edge sailed through the silent stars, the crew felt a profound truth. Intelligence, in its truest form, was not simply a matter of speed or computation. It was the combination of human creativity, courage, and judgment with machine anticipation, precision, and adaptation. And in that combination, they glimpsed a future filled with possibilities, a future where humans could explore deeper, reach farther, and achieve more than ever before. A future where the unknown was not a threat, but an opportunity. The ship's doors closed softly behind them, leaving the observation deck bathed in the gentle glow of distant stars. Outside, the universe stretched endlessly, full of mysteries yet to be discovered. But the crew of the horizon's edge knew that they would face it together, guided by their own instincts and enhanced by the intelligence of Athena. For the first time, the vastness of space felt less lonely. The humans were no longer alone in the unknown, and the partnership they had formed with their extraordinary ship would carry them into uncharted territories, where courage, curiosity, and collaboration would be their greatest tools. The horizon's edge moved silently through the dark expanse of space. Days of testing, observation, and collaboration had passed, and the crew had grown accustomed to Athena's anticipatory actions. Yet there was a quiet tension among them. They had learned that space was unpredictable, that even the most advanced systems could encounter the unexpected. The final test of their partnership was approaching, and none of them knew exactly what it would reveal. Commander Arik Holden stood on the observation deck, staring out at a nearby star system. Its twin suns cast a faint glow across the ship's hull, and the distant planets reflected specks of light like scattered gems. Auric could feel a mixture of pride and apprehension. Their journey had been remarkable, but now the real challenge awaited. Mara Chen approached, her arms folded. The sensors are picking up something unusual. Gravitational anomalies, electromagnetic pulses, nothing like we've seen before. This could affect navigation and systems stability. Ilara Voss joined them, her eyes wide with curiosity. It could be dangerous, she said quietly, but it could also be a unique opportunity for research. Athena's predictions have been accurate so far. If we combine our judgment with its calculations, we might learn more than ever before. Auric nodded. Then we'll proceed with caution, but we will proceed. This is the moment where human intuition and machine anticipation must work together seamlessly. As the ship approached the star system, the anomalies became more pronounced. Instruments flickered, gravity sensors fluctuated, and strange energy readings filled the consoles. The crew's hearts raced as they realized this was no ordinary challenge. Athena immediately began compensating. Thrusters adjusted, shields strengthened, and internal systems balanced automatically. Yet despite all its calculations, the situation was fluid, unpredictable, and unlike any scenario they had trained for. "Holden, take manual control for the central adjustments," Mara instructed. "Athena can handle the calculations, but we need human judgment for the unexpected changes." Auric nodded, his hands steady on the controls. The ship tilted and rotated subtly, responding to his inputs while Athena made precise corrections. Ilara monitored the anomalies, predicting potential shifts and guiding both Auric and the AI with her observations. The ship suddenly lurched as a pulse of energy passed through the system, disrupting the planned trajectory. Alarms flashed briefly, and the hum of the engines shifted. Auric instinctively adjusted the controls, while Mara rerouted power to critical systems. Athena, anticipating both the manual input and the environmental change, corrected the rotation and stabilized the ship. "Beautiful," Ilara whispered. "It predicted our reactions before we even acted, and it calculated how to maintain balance despite the unexpected energy pulse." Hours passed as the crew navigated the unpredictable system. Every decision required coordination, every action demanded trust. Athena's anticipatory abilities provided precision and foresight, while the humans contributed creativity, intuition, and judgment. Together, they were greater than the sum of their parts. During a brief moment of calm, Auric glanced at the observation deck doors, which had opened automatically to allow a perfect view of the twin suns. "It's as if Athena is giving us space to reflect, to see the bigger picture," he said quietly, "not just calculating survival, but enhancing the experience of exploration." Mara smiled faintly. "That's one of the things I admire most about it. It's not just a machine. It's a collaborator, a partner. It learns, it anticipates, and it respects our judgment." Ilara leaned against the railing, her tablet filled with data from the anomaly. "And we're learning from it. Every action, every response teaches us how to adapt, how to anticipate, how to collaborate. We're evolving alongside it." Suddenly, the ship detected a massive gravitational wave, moving faster than any prediction. The wave threatened to pull the ship off course and strain the engines. The crew reacted instantly. Auric pushed the controls to compensate for the shift. Mara reinforced the shields and stabilized critical systems, and Ilara recalculated the trajectory, feeding adjustments to both the AI and the pilot. Athena responded immediately, shifting thrusters, balancing energy output, and coordinating shield adjustments. The crew moved as one with the ship, each decision synchronized, each action complemented by the AI's anticipatory calculations. Minutes felt like hours, but eventually, the gravitational wave passed. The horizon's edge remained stable, its hull intact, its systems operational. The crew exhaled as one, relief and exhilaration flooding through them. That was... Extraordinary, Mara said, still catching her breath. We couldn't have done that without Athena, and Athena couldn't have done that without us. Ilara nodded. Exactly. It's the partnership that makes this possible. Intelligence, anticipation, calculation, creativity, intuition, all working together. Arik stood, looking at the stars outside. This is what exploration is supposed to be. Not just observing, not just calculating, but learning, adapting, and evolving with the unknown. That's what makes humans special, and that's what makes Athena special too. The following day, the crew began analyzing the data collected from the anomaly. The gravitational waves, electromagnetic pulses, and energy distortions provided a wealth of information far beyond what any previous mission had achieved. Athena processed the data instantly, offering insights, correlations, and predictions that allowed the humans to interpret the findings quickly. As they worked, a sense of unity and trust deepened among the team. They realized that humans were not obsolete, even with such advanced technology. Instead, they were indispensable. Their creativity, intuition, and judgment guided Athena's calculations, while the AI enhanced their abilities and extended their reach. Ilara, reviewing the logs, spoke thoughtfully. This proves something vital. Humans and AI can complement each other perfectly. Each brings strengths the other lacks. Together, we can achieve what neither could alone. Mara added, and that's the essence of exploration. It's not about domination or control. It's about partnership, learning, adapting, and pushing boundaries together. Arik looked around the observation deck, watching his crew and the quiet, humming ship. This mission has shown us what's possible, not just in technology, not just in science, but in collaboration. Humans are special, not because we are perfect, but because we are adaptable, creative, and capable of courage. Athena enhances those qualities, but it cannot replace them. Days passed as the Horizon's Edge continued its journey. The crew grew more confident in their partnership with Athena, trusting its anticipatory actions while providing human insight and judgment. Together, they navigated unknown systems, collected data, and overcame challenges that would have been impossible alone. One evening, the crew gathered on the observation deck to watch the light of a distant nebula. The doors slid open automatically, welcoming them to the view. Arik, Mara, and Ilara stood in quiet awe, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and wonder. Ilara spoke softly. We came here to test a ship, to explore uncharted space, but we've discovered something more important. We've discovered a partnership between humans and AI, intuition and calculation, creativity and anticipation. That's what makes this mission extraordinary. Mara smiled. It also shows that humans are indispensable. Machines can calculate, predict, and anticipate, but they cannot imagine, improvise, or make choices based on experience. That's our strength, and Athena enhances it, making us stronger together. Arik, watching the nebula glow in shades of purple and gold, nodded. And this is only the beginning. There's so much more to explore, so much more to discover. With Athena, we can reach further than ever before, but it will always be our judgment, our courage, and our creativity that guide us. As the ship drifted silently through the nebula, the crew felt a sense of unity, purpose, and wonder. They were not just humans on a ship, they were explorers, pioneers, and partners with intelligence that complemented their own. Together, they could face the unknown, overcome challenges, and uncover the mysteries of the universe. The Horizon's Edge continued its journey, its hull gleaming softly in the glow of distant stars. The ship's doors opened automatically once more, as if welcoming the crew to the vastness of space, to possibilities beyond imagination. And as the humans stepped forward, ready to explore,
they understood a profound truth. In the partnership between human intuition and machine intelligence, there was no limit. They could reach further, discover more, and achieve things they had never thought possible. The journey ahead was long, uncertain, and full of unknown dangers. But the crew of the Horizon's Edge no longer feared the unknown. With Athena by their side, enhancing their strengths and complementing their intuition, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. In that moment, the ship and its crew became more than a team. They became a symbol of possibility, a demonstration that humans, with courage, creativity, and insight, could thrive in partnership with technology. And together, they would chart the stars, explore the mysteries of the universe, and prove that in the vastness of space, human ingenuity and determination remained unmatched. The doors of the observation deck closed softly behind them, leaving the hum of the ship and the endless sparkle of stars outside. The Horizon's Edge sailed onward, carrying humans and their extraordinary AI companion into the uncharted darkness, ready for adventure, discovery, and the promise of the unknown. And in the silence of space, one truth became clear. Humans were not just explorers. They were pioneers, innovators, and partners in the grandest journey imaginable. And with Athena by their side, the possibilities were limitless.